8.2 million people on average die annually because of cancer every single year. One of the biggest arguments doctors make to say that cancer is an incurable disease is because every single cancer cell is different. There are approximately 100 different types of cancer cells. So that means cancer is incurable, right? Wrong. Every single cancer cell has one thing in common. All of them need to use sugar as their main source of fuel. Now you might be like, isn't carbohydrates or sugar main source of fuel even for a healthy human being? Without sugar we would all not be able to do anything, right? We would all die, right? No, that's absolutely wrong. Our main source of fuel is not sugar. In fact, it's fats. Mitochondria, also known as the powerhouse of our cells, these are the parts of our cells which basically produce the energy that we require to do our day-to-day activities. Everything from moving to walking to digesting, from our heart beating, etc. These mitochondrial cells are genetically built and evolved to use fats as its main source of fuel. 10,000 years back, humans hardly got food. We used to at best have 1 or 2 meals. And when we did not get food, we used to not starve to death, otherwise our species would have gone extinct. We evolved to use our own body fat as our main source of fuel. In fact, did you know that it was because of our ability to efficiently get into ketosis, the state of burning fat for fuel, that we humans have developed such big brains and are the smartest animals on earth? There's this very simple equation in biology, alright? So the more number of neurons an animal has, the more smarter the animal is. What ketosis, or the state of burning fat, does is it increases something known as neurogenesis. Neurogenesis basically means increasing the number of neurons in the brain, and as a being increases the number of neurons in its brain, it becomes smarter, and that's exactly what ketosis does. And that's why ketosis, or the state of burning fat, is a very efficient treatment in treating dementia, Alzheimer's, and all other brain related diseases, because it increases neurogenesis. What is Alzheimer's? Alzheimer's is a state, it's a neurodegenerative disease. It basically means that Alzheimer's is a state in which the neurons in the brains die, due to which the person's memory completely goes away. Whereas what ketosis does, it increases neurogenesis, which basically means it increases the number of neurons in the brain. It is because of this ability of us to get into ketosis efficiently that we humans have evolved to be the smartest animals on earth, and it's because of this fact that we are high above on the food chain. What history of human evolution shows us that is that we humans are genetically evolved to use fats as our main source of fuel. Do you know why cancer cells can use only sugar as its main source of fuel? Because all these cancer cells have one more thing in common. They all have dysfunctional mitochondria, and these dysfunctional mitochondria can only use sugar or glucose as their main source of fuel, whereas healthy mitochondria can use fats as their main source of fuel. Cancer is not a genetic problem. It's a problem with our diet. An average American consumes around 100 to 150 grams of sugar. No wonder cancer is at rise. No wonder diabetes is at rise. No wonder Alzheimer's is at rise. No wonder so many other chronic degenerative diseases are at rise. Because our diets are built in such a way that we fuel these cancer cells. Imagine the human body to be a hybrid Tesla car. Its main source of fuel is electricity, and its secondary source of fuel is diesel. You are meant to ride this car primarily using electricity, which is represented as fats, and not diesel, which is represented as sugar. Using electricity is a pollution free, whereas using diesel is a dirty fuel which causes a lot of pollution. In this case, fats are the electric fuel that our body is meant to use. We are like that electric Tesla car which is meant to use that electric energy, which is found in the forms of fat, but instead we give it diesel in the form of sugar. Ketosis, or being in the state of burning fat for fuel, kills cancer cells because we deprive them of their main source of fuel, which is known as sugar. These are the stories of people who have used ketosis in order to cure cancer through the process of intermittent fasting.
One researcher said a lot of patients are told it doesn't matter what you eat after you are diagnosed with cancer. This preliminary animal research suggests that it does matter.
And it just absolutely amazes me that medical science is just now finding this out.
Fred Hatfield knows firsthand sugar intake matters after a cancer diagnosis. Back in 2012, his diagnosis was basically a death sentence.
The doctors gave me 3 months to live because of widespread metastatic cancer in my skeletal structure. 3 months. 3 different doctors told me that same thing.
It's a horrible, horrible feeling to have someone tell you that the person that you love only has 3 months to live and you're not going to be with him anymore.
Then Fred heard about a low-sugar diet called the ketogenic diet, believed to slow cancer in some people. With nothing to lose, he gave it a try, and to his astonishment, it worked.
And the cancer was gone completely.
Fred's recovery didn't surprise Dr. Dominic D'Agostino. His team at the University of South Florida discovered mice with highly aggressive metastatic cancer continued living when fed a ketogenic diet.
We have dramatically increased survival with metabolic therapy. So we think it's important to get this information out.
And it's not just lab animals. Dr. D'Agostino has seen similar results in humans.
I've been in correspondence with a number of people, probably at least a dozen people, and over the last 1.5 to 2 years, and all of them are still alive, so despite the odds. And so this is very encouraging.
The ketogenic diet means no sugar and no starchy carbohydrates like bread and pasta that convert to sugar. D'Agostino says cancer cells love sugar and starch because cancer thrives on the glucose from those foods. Remove the glucose and starve the cancer cells. Glucose also fuels our healthy cells, but if it's not there, those cells can switch to an alternate fuel source called ketone bodies. Cancer cells only run on glucose.
Your normal cells have the metabolic flexibility to adapt from using glucose to using ketone bodies, but cancer cells lack this metabolic flexibility, so we can exploit that.
Since processed food contains so much sugar and starch, people following the ketogenic diet tend to cook whole foods from scratch.
You can go online and there's just cookbooks and, it's clean eating, just very clean eating. None of the sugars, the salts, the trash food.
So when it comes to cancer, sugar is considered public enemy number 1. Avoiding it could lead to prevention or slow it down in people fighting the disease. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
I just wanted to make this video to give everyone a perspective on how cancer is a curable disease and how we can do it. If you like this video, also do check out my video on how vitamin D3 has also helped to cure cancer and so many other diseases. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, keep being awesome.